Alright, so I'm just going to get right into it with this one. I'm basically just going to be following along with my local trading plans. I am right now watching Bitcoin and I'm watching Euro USD. I have a few trade ideas for these assets, so I will go over them quickly and then hopefully I can continue to make updates as I take some of these trades. So Bitcoin is still ranging down by these lows that we put in yesterday. We did eventually break structure bullishly, which is what I was waiting for to close my short trade. I'd say we broke it confidently once we kind of got this double break here and got a close well above the lower high. I wasn't trusting the break right away. It was a very poor break. We started kind of dipping back down under the break of structure line, but eventually we did get a convincing move above, and that is when I closed out this short trade. So in my video yesterday, I talked about how I was looking for a retracement and potentially looking to get in on the next lower high in this downtrend. I was looking at this 1 hour downtrend that we have, which right now the last lower high was right here. And I was also talking about the fact that we could come up to retest the previous range low, the range that we just broke out of bearishly, which is also this larger range's value area high. And, we could come up, get a retest off that area, find resistance on the value area high, and still put in another 1 hour lower high. So that is pretty much the next short idea I'm looking for. And so I have marked out a few areas that I am interested in. So we got two zones of supply above this, local range high. This one is the better one, I think. This is a much more clear retracement on the 5-minute. So I like this supply zone. It also lines up pretty nicely with the range lows. Like maybe we come up and wick that a little bit if we actually want to reject right from the range low, but it's right in that area. And the smaller supply zone is just like a little 3-minute order block. The reason I have it marked out is because it is right above this current high, and it's also right around this wick over here, which technically this whole retracement is a zone of supply as well. So, getting a move above this local high, we would be hitting the larger range of supply and also this smaller 3-minute order block. There's a few ideas that I have for what could happen here. Maybe we get a move up, reject from this area, get an SFP that high, and then come up later to get a third SFP into this supply zone, kind of creating a Wyckoff model, and that could mark the lower high. Maybe we just get a move up into this area and kind of look for some kind of structure to break, something like this. So, really, I'd be looking for any sign to short in this area if we get a retracement. Really, I'd be looking to short anywhere as long as we don't break this high up here. So, even if these supply zones don't work, maybe we do something like this, but then eventually break structure. I would still be looking for a short. So that's pretty much my plan for trying to get in on the next lower high if there's going to be one. And I am also looking at this local range that we've been trading in since we put in this low, and maybe looking for scalp trades. Right now, I may be looking for a scalp long up to some of these zones. So now taking a look at Euro USD, I'll quickly go over this trade idea as well. So I'm watching 4-hour structure on this asset. The last 4-hour lower high was right here, and we recently took out that high, but we never closed above it, or never closed above the break of structure line. So we originally got a wick, then we got another wick, then another wick, then another wick. So even though technically we did get candle closes on the 4-hour above the last 4-hour lower high, I'd still call it an SFP since we never closed above the new break of structure line. So I am basically looking at this as if we just SFP'd the 4-hour lower high. And following that, we did get a break of structure recently. We broke the last 1 hour higher low, and with a pretty aggressive move as well. And this aggressive move left, number one, a large inefficiency that I think it would make sense to come back up and fill. And it also left a very juicy looking supply zone right around the area where that inefficiency gets filled. So this is off the bat a zone of interest. It was a little retracement before a very aggressive move that brought price down to break structure. So I think it's an important area, and I think it would make sense to come back up to this area before continuing this downtrend if we are going to. which I think there's pretty good evidence that we probably will. The SFP of the 4-hour market structure point, then, such an aggressive break following that. I think that this is a pretty high probability idea, especially if we make our way up here and then get something like this, some kind of market structure shift into this area. So that really is my preferred trade idea, and you can see it's a very good risk reward, somewhere around like a 10 or 13 to 1 if you're targeting all the way down to the 4-hour lower low. And obviously, I'd be taking profits sooner than that. I'd split up my profit taking, so take some profits here, some profits here, probably. But ultimately, I think this is looking like a very good trade idea, especially if I can get this entry with my invalidation basically above the local higher high after a market structure break into that area. Maybe things won't align perfectly like that. Maybe we just get a quick wick into this area, and I feel like marketing in. In that case, I'd probably set my invalidation either up above that supply zone or above this high, and that does severely impact the risk reward of the trade. But that doesn't mean I won't take it. If we get a quick wick up into this area, also considering the other confluences that we have here, like the point of control of the downtrend, as well as the 786 fib, which lines up pretty perfectly with that. So yeah, bottom line is I'm interested in a short from this area, and hopefully we get some kind of a good confirmation to go along with that, because that would make the trade a lot better. And considering the large inefficiency that we have above us, I may also be looking for a scalp long to ride this thing up to that area. So I am watching local market structure. I'm not going to enter as soon as we get 1 5-minute break, just because that's how I've been getting burned a lot recently. Trading Bitcoin and Forex, I've kind of been getting burned just entering on the first market structure break. So that is something I'm trying to change, and for a few reasons. Number one, if you wait for another break, or if you wait for some kind of reconfirmation, then there's a better chance that the idea is going to play out anyway, and it gives a better risk reward. Like if you're waiting for a retest into a significant area, your risk reward is going to be much better than if you just market in on the break with less confirmation. So I am practicing patience here, and I'm going to try and wait for the better entry. And I will also be aware of the other, potential resistances that we have above. We have maybe like a 5-minute supply zone here, a little retracement that we got before continuing this 5-minute downtrend. So that's something to pay attention to. The value area low, the downtrend is in there as well. And this is also, the larger area of supply. Technically, this whole retracement leg right now is supply, so maybe we just come up to tag the low end of that and never actually reach this area. That would be unfortunate, and I hope that doesn't happen, but I have to be aware of the possibility. So I think that's really it for right now. I will check back in a little bit, and hopefully I can take some of these trades. Alright, it is now Friday at 7 p.m., and I want to follow up on the video I started recording yesterday. So I've taken 2 Bitcoin trades, and I'll just quickly go over those. So the first trade I took was a scalp long. So when I left off last, we were, I think, somewhere around here. So after that, we had some kind of like a false break. We got this very big wick to the downside, kind of had a false bullish break. Eventually, I guess it's not really a false break because we came down to SFP the lows, which is technically allowed after a market structure break, but still, it's very funky because we got this really big wick, and, I don't like calling this a lower high right here, so, who really cares? I didn't enter along until right here. So after the SFP, we broke very low time frame structure. I think this was like 1-minute structure I was looking at, so very low time frame. I was not trusting, just a break of that, and originally we kind of got an SFP, put in a higher low, and then actually got a good break, and I basically just entered on the demand retest. So we retested this demand, this retracement that we got, and technically following that 1-minute structure, the higher low was right here now, since we did put in a higher high before that. So basically my scalp long position looked something like this. I entered on like an internal 1-minute break here. So entry was right here and invalidation was down here. And I did not hold this trade for very long. I think I closed it out like somewhere over here because we were just kind of, moving sideways, and I wasn't really sure that we were going to continue to the upside. I thought that we might eventually come down to take out that low. So once we got like the third SFP of the high, I decided to close that out. And, I could have gotten more profits out of it, but, whatever. It wasn't a big position to begin with, so a little bit of profits is all right. And after that, we came up to eventually take out the high of the range, and we just recently took out the highs once again. So we've got to move up into that higher supply zone, and we actually rejected right from the range lows that I was talking about. If I put a horizontal line right on that range low, we tapped it almost perfectly to the dollar, I think. Now we front ran it slightly. So yeah, we front ran it a little bit on Binance, but I know Bybit is different. This wick was lower, so probably at least on Binance we tested that range low, and yeah, we did. So, regardless, we came up to that area I was looking for. We kind of wicked this supply zone. The value area high is right up in this area too, so after that, we got a very aggressive wick back down, actually closed as an SFP on the 15-minute. And I initially took a starting short position just on that reclaim. Once I saw that wick come back down below the low, because this is such a significant area and there's a chance that this high is a 1 hour lower high. So, this was a plan that I had for a while. Normally, I wouldn't short such an aggressive SFP. The fact that we came so high above, the SFP point, it's not a great SFP. Just because you don't have a great risk reward if you're waiting for the reclaim to enter and your stop loss is all the way up here. But yeah, since it was a plan that I had for a while, and I think this could ultimately, be a lower high for a move much further down, I decided to take it with a very small risk at first, and I set my stop a little loose. I put it a little bit above that high, and if you zoom in, we actually came up to that high twice. So we got the original wick, and after that we came up to take out the high again, kind of just take out the early shorters and everyone that put their stop loss really tight to that high. So we wicked the high once more, and I actually added to this trade in this area because we could have a Wyckoff Model 2 here, or maybe we did already have a Wyckoff and the target was technically already hit of that. But we had one tap, two tap. We came down to take out the lows. It was not a break of structure, but we came down to take out the lows and then came up to retest supply. So I was looking at this as maybe a Wyckoff Model 2, and I decided to add to this position somewhere around here. So that is the short that I'm in. I already locked it in. I TP'd down at this low. Once I added here, I set a TP down there, and I put my stop loss at entry, which is somewhere right around here. So yeah, I am in a short trade. I have TPs set a little bit lower. I have one set down at this low, and I am also targeting this low, the 1 hour lower low, and potentially much lower. If we're going to continue this larger 1 hour downtrend, then maybe I'll be able to hold this trade for much longer. But I'm gonna take profits on it early just in case we do something like this. And real quick before I end the video, I'll also look at Market Cipher. I do see that we got some divergences on that high on the 1 hour time frame, and I believe we saw, well, we didn't see money flow divs on the 30, but I thought, yeah, okay, so on the 15 we did see a money flow divergence on that high. Even a slight momentum div. That's not super important though. I'm more focused on the money flow. It is odd though that the 30-minute is putting in a higher high still. 15-minute money flow div. It looks like a 5-minute money flow div as well. So yeah, there is divergences on that high. I think it makes sense for this to be the 1 hour lower high. We came up to tag, looks like all the supply remaining. I mean, this was like a refined area of supply in the larger area. Maybe this up here is an order block that we didn't tag. I can actually look at that on a lower time frame because that may be one. Okay, so I would maybe call this an order block up here. It's not a great one. It's kind of just like a single candle one. And yeah, we did not touch that after getting a move away from there. So I think there is possibly still unmitigated supply above, but maybe this was really all that we needed. I don't think any of the other retracements really mitigated all the supply that was remaining. So yeah, in this case, we had a order block up here that was left before we continued the structure. So yeah, I think this could be a lower high. But we'll find out, I guess, if we come down to break this low. All right, well, I want to get this video uploaded, so thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. The support is much appreciated. It helps my channel to grow, and I will see you all in the next video.